Okay, so I don't know. I'm just gonna start off. I mean, it's like, hey, I'm gonna introduce you and stuff, and then I don't know. I just feel like I host the show. Everyone hosts the show. I have to do this. Is that recording? Yeah, that's too.
So we're live. Now
All
we're
right.
recording. How's it going, Donovan?
Good, man.
Yeah.
I had so many things just going through my head a second ago,
Yeah.
and then now it's blank, so it's just going to be 45 minutes of not talking.
It's gonna be an hour and a half, man.
Oh, it's an hour and a half?
Yeah, no, it's as long as it needs to be. Doesn't
Oh,
matter to
okay.
me. Well, we'll get to it, man. I mean, like, but usually how we just start, I'm just like, hey, how's it going? And I introduce you.
Yeah.
To people I don't know. And then, but in like an hour, maybe an hour from now, we'll just be done talking, and you'll probably hit a few things you were thinking about, maybe miss a few. I don't know.
Well, why don't we tell people how we know each other?
Yeah.
I think that's a interesting place to start
I'd say.
because
It was a while ago. But first, everyone, this is
yeah.
Donovan. We've been friends, and we were colleagues to start with. We were friends back in 2010. I met you, I think, for the Olympics.
Yep.
That was the first time I met you. Yeah, we've been kind of friends ever since. We don't hang out a ton, but
Was that February? That was
yeah,
when
February.
the Olympics or something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was super random for me. That was like...
It seemed that way. Yeah. Sorry, but it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it was
Yeah.
it was super random. I mean, at that time I'd been I was a carpenter before anything to do with
Right.
PR,
Yeah.
and I had no real education either.
Right.
And then WorkSafe was like, you can't go back to be a carpenter. You have to figure out something else to do. And I was
Right.
like, oh shit, I don't know what else to do because I don't have any education. I don't think I actually completed a grade from grade 1 to 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like back in the day, they just kind of pushed you through, and
Right, okay.
and I was hopping from school to school just because of my life circumstances and
Yeah.
and being in the system, foster care and social services and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, right.
yeah. So when these guys were like, you got to retrain, I'm like, shit, I didn't know anything. And so I went in and I started asking friends of mine, what do you think I should do? And this friend of mine, Sam Schwan, was like, oh, you should do PR. And I was like, what's PR? And then she was like, oh, it's public relations. You're super good with people, so you should just go do that. And I was like, what does that take? So she's like, I don't know. I just think you should do it.
Right.
And so I went. I think she was the one because I hadn't even been on a computer.
Oh.
Literally at that moment when she said that, I didn't own a computer. I had never been on a computer.
And when was that, 2008, 2007 or something like that?
No, that was 2009.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
Wait.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 2000. It was 2009 when
Right.
WorkSafe started sweating me about
Right.
moving on.
Okay.
And so I found this bunk course at Langara.
Right.
I didn't know it was bunk. They were just like, I just messaged the guy, and he was like, yeah, if you got 10 G's, we can make you a public relations person. And I was like, but I never been to school. He was
Right.
like, oh yeah, it's cool. You're an adult student. And
Oh.
I was like,
Right, you can do that.
yeah. So I thought it was going to be similar to being a carpenter, where if you get dope gear and you show up to a work site, people just won't fuck with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah, I
just
guess,
you're
yeah.
like, oh damn, that guy's got a stiletto hammer and a
idea.
sweet harness.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? It's you know,
Right.
wicked $250 steel-toed boots. It was oh, this guy's not just partying his money away on the
Right.
weekend.
Right.
So I was went into this PR thing, so I asked Sam Swan, they told me I got to get a computer, and she's like, oh, get a MacBook Pro. It's super intuitive. And
Really?
she was like, oh yeah, it's just so super easy. So I went back to WorkSafe and I said, I need some gear.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, you do whatever you need to do. This is what we'll give you for a budget for that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, wow, okay.
Well, I was making proper money as a carpenter.
Okay.
It wasn't a small claim.
Oh, right, cool.
You know.
Okay.
So I got a MacBook Pro, and man, I just about broke it the first day. Smashed it with my fist, and
Frustration.
I was just I didn't get it. So when you say when I showed up, it was random. The pre thing to that was, if you think about this was a 3-month course.
Yeah.
I went into this. I basically hid out in the class for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like just kind of flying under the radar,
Yeah.
dying inside.
Yeah.
And they're like, you got to do this practicum. Everyone went out and found practicums. And I was just like,
Right.
I don't know what. And then the teacher was like, oh,
Jeez.
if anybody can, we have like a practicum. We can set you up for the Olympics with Whistler Blackcomb.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
I'll do that.
what? They were like, but it had to do with like having a bit of scratch for
Yeah.
rent.
Yeah.
Or no, because no, I think that was taken care of for me.
I think they put you in staff housing.
Yeah, I think
I lived
that's
up there too. I think I remember. Yeah.
yeah. So you had to take care of your we had to take care of our food and this
Sure.
and that. So I'm like shit. Like I got my work safe money. Like I'm gonna go on a holiday.
Yeah. Right.
And
I came to work for this.
yeah. So like and like in the biggest job like ever, right?
Right.
Like it wasn't like a. So it was like random on a totally different level.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. I mean, I'd been there. I'd only been there for like 2 years, I guess, prior to you getting there in the PR department. So I was still pretty young in there. But I remember we met. When I just heard your story, and you're like, oh, and it was like, I was like, man, this like I was super nervous because like it's the Olympics. I don't know what the hell fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like, you know, I get people around me who are professionals who are doing this thing, and no, it's good to have somebody like relate to on the job, because I was like, this is fucking crazy. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was cool, and that's like. So when you finished that with us,
I got a wicked story to tell you about. This is how out of my depth I was at that
Sure.
thing. So, I can't remember who it was at the time that was the PR manager. Was it Christine?
Christina Moore,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tabitha was
Tabitha was like kind of leading the kind of the charge a bit with the Olympic stuff.
right.
Yeah.
I think it was Tabitha that came up. She was like, yeah, like it was fucking so awesome. She came up. She's like, yeah, I'm going to need you to make up like, put this blah, blah, blah on like a Word document and then just print it out and slam it on the backboard. And I was like, yeah, totally. Like, I'm like this, like I literally was like, I'm just going to go in the back and hang myself. Like
Right.
I have no idea what a Word document is at this point.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And I'm doing like Whistler Blackcomb PR
the
practicum for the Olympics. Like,
Dude, you snuck through the system. For
yeah,
sure.
like literally like a few minutes before that was like, you know, it was like, oh, can you get like the Prime Minister of Latvia some like chocolate bars or something, and like in his like bodyguard, and then she comes up and she's like, yeah, you got to make it this Word document. So there's this other girl there that she was doing her practicum or she was doing something. And I walked up to her like all boss, and I was just like, hey, I need you to like make up this Word document. And she's just going to do this like word verbatim what she said.
Jeez.
I'm like, because I got to go run and get like the Prime Minister of Latvia some chocolate bars or whatever. Like, so like
That's a
that, that was the whole thing for me up at
Right.
Whistler Blackcomb, was like kind of like trying to figure out like, how do I not get like,
busted.
you know, super busted. Like I was so busted, like right off the hop. Like I think everyone knew. They were just like, what is this dude doing here?
I don't. I mean, I don't think so. I don't know. I was like, I think it was all fine.
Yeah, like everybody was just overwhelmed. But
Right. But the thing is, when you have an excuse like I have to get the Prime Minister of Latvia chocolate bars, no one's gonna go. That's not true,
yeah,
because you can't make that up. And it's the Olympics. Anything could have happened, really.
yeah.
No one. I wonder who that was, because it was
That whole thing though is like, you know, like it was incredible. Like what happened for me at that, because
Right.
there was this day, like I think it was like the second day that we were there. And this is like pre where we're at right now. There was no Instagram back then.
Right.
So funny, like we're that old. Like there was no Instagram back in
Back in the day, that was-
2010.
When we refer to the back in the day, we refer to like 10 years ago. When our parents refer to the back in the day, they mean like 50 years prior.
Yeah.
Like our back in the day is so much shorter.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So there was this like really cool moment. Like I think it was on the first or second day where you and I were talking, and you were like, Christine just said something. I think it was Christine said that if somebody comes in with a Facebook account with X amount of friends, like we're going to treat them like PR. And I remember like going like, what? Like I'd like had no Facebook
Right.
at that point. Really.
Like,
And
social media was still pretty.
it was
going
so
there.
like, right, brand new in terms of like
So it was like 3
what
years old, yeah.
what people were going to get out of the deal. And and I remember thinking to myself, like you and I were kind of talking about Facebook, and I think that the friend count then to get media accreditation
was like $5,000 if that.
yeah, it was like 5,000, like not
Super
even that many
small.
people. Like it was
No.
like, and I was just like, But I knew at that moment, I was like, okay, I'm going to bounce. Like, I'm going back to the city. Once this is done, I'm going to go into the class. I'm going to tell them, like, they shouldn't have sold me this package.
Right.
Knowing, like, my education level.
Yeah.
And I just knew that Facebook and Twitter was accessible.
Right. For sure.
Like, you know, if everyone else was going to do it. So, like,
right,
it was cool. Like, if the only thing that I got out of the Whistler Olympics or, like, the Winter Olympics that year, through that super painful experience, was it was just like, go that way. Like, don't even attempt to do this, because, like, this isn't what you're going to do.
Right.
You'll hate life if you go this way.
Yeah.
But, like... And that was like a heads up, man.
Yeah.
Like, not many people were like taking Facebook and Twitter and stuff super serious. Like, in
only a
terms
chosen few were for sure at the time.
yeah, like Van City Buzz back then. I remember when I got back to the city, I opened a Twitter account, and
and it took off for you pretty quickly.
Yeah,
yeah, you did, like, you kind of jump started a little bit when you first got what I noticed anyway.
Yeah, like, well, I remember I went back to the city and I reached out to Carm and it was back then, it was Van City Buzz, and he had under 10,000 followers. But if you think about this, how crazy that was.
That's a lot.
It was like, this guy's a god. Like, if you can meet up with this guy.
Right.
And so when he tweeted me back and he was like, yeah, for sure, man, I'll meet you. And back then he was an accountant. I don't know if anyone knows that about Carm from Van City Buzz, now Daily Hive. He was a legit accountant. And that was just a side thing that he's doing. Now it's like Daily Hive, and they're just crushing it.
Yeah,
man.
no kidding. I wonder why they changed their name.
I don't know. It's weird that you asked it, because I saw him. I went for lunch with him like about 2 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Just to kind of ask him about the way I should approach this new social media gig that I'm doing now.
Okay.
So, yeah. Anyways, that's kind of the backstory of like Ryan and I, how we came into each other's life.
Yeah, and then I think after that, you went back to Vancouver. I saw you a few times now and again. And then, I talked to you once in a while for the last few years.
Yeah.
And then, I guess you could jump ahead, like, I don't know, because I can jump ahead like to like maybe 4 years ago when I worked at Lululemon. No, 2000, maybe 3 years ago. But then you went into like a bit of a transformation after, like, you went through some stuff, and then you transformed, like, became like a yoga teacher.
Major stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know how much you want to touch on that, so I didn't want to just assume.
I'm good if you are.
Oh, I don't mind at all, man. Like,
because like after all that stuff, like, it was weird the trajectory that I was on, because I was doing stand up at that time.
Yeah.
And I managed to take the social media stuff, leverage the shit out of it.
Yeah.
With like working with Van City Buzz, this and that. And you're right, my Twitter account did take off.
See that Groupon thing too, right?
Well, that was what was weird, is like when the Twitter thing took off for me, there was like some guy messaged me. It was like, hey, we're looking for somebody to run our Twitter. And back then, nobody even called it like a social media manager or director. No. So this guy was just like, we know this is important.
Yeah.
We're a startup. Do you want to do that for us?
Yeah.
And they were paying me they're paying me more than what most people get paid now.
Yeah.
To come in and do that. And that's like the no education thing.
Right. That's cool. I mean, that it worked. I mean, for how long it lasted for, whatever it is. I mean, there was a bubble there, a short bubble of like, for a lot of people that did social media contracts.
Yeah.
But, and then, that took off for you for sure. And you did a bunch of stuff with Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, because there was two kind of things that were happening simultaneously. I wasn't so funny, but I was good at like making shit happen for me in the comedy world.
Okay.
Like creating audiences and getting people to come out. And then there was this other side of things, like where I was actually doing that as a job for another company. And there was this, I don't know, like, I think people will be able to relate to this piece, like where if you start to gain followers and traction on the internet now today, and you're new to it, you can potentially put a lot of meaning into it and think that you're important.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end of the day, what I was feeling like anyways, I might go down to the comedy mix and I might perform in front of 250 people.
Yeah.
Not get paid, because it's just like an open mic type deal, or like $50 or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, you're like, you're crushing it at life. And then I'm going home alone. And it's like, what? Like this Twitter is shit is like
Right. It's
bullshit
false for sure.
And then also there's labels, right? Like
Yeah.
you're a comedian, you're this, you're that. And I'm
Right.
like, at the end of the day, like I'm going home and I'm like, I don't feel like that. Like I feel like killing myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
For no particular reason too.
Just-
Like it wasn't like anything bad was happening in my life.
Right. Just a personal. It was just something you were going through personally, like just a feeling in your body, in your head.
Yeah, I just think that it got worse by people telling me that I was dope.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like where
And
there
it
was
feels
this-
like, do you know the people very well, or it's more like just telling you you're dope and the people you didn't really know that well? Like, did you feel like it was like a shallow or like an unfounded compliment?
Well, I don't know. Like, have you ever like seen a picture of yourself standing beside someone? And you're like, whoa, like that's me. Like I'm that tall. You know what I mean? Or like I got that face. Like,
Right. Oh yeah, I get that.
you
I
know.
see it a lot myself for sure. Yeah.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
for me, like up until the last 6 years, the awareness of like what people thought about me didn't match up with what I thought about myself.
Oh, okay.
Like physically,
Right.
I still like I was in New York in May, and I did like a talk show there,
Right.
and I like swung my head over at the monitor, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I look like a fucking gorilla beside this little tiny black lady. You know what I mean? Like I'm just sitting there like knuckles on the floor, and she's asking me questions. So like, bleh, you know, and I'm like weird. Like that's what I look like.
Right.
So like
Fair,
when
man.
it comes back to like what people were saying about me as a person, like, oh, you're blah, blah, blah. And then I would go home and I'd be like, I don't connect with anything what people are saying with
Your
me.
self-esteem wasn't at the best level at all. Apparently, like,
Yeah.
like
I think like,
you had to judge yourself pretty hard, probably.
yeah, I just didn't like think about myself too much. Like
Right.
in a different kind of way, I think there's like, that's part of our ego too, is people will talk about this kind of ego, like where I'm like, oh, like, yo, check me out. And like, you know, and they'll
Right.
do that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side of your ego, which is like, nobody cares. Nobody notices
Right.
me. I'm a mouse or doesn't even say that, but you just think
Feel
like,
it.
for me, that part of my ego is that, you know, like if I'm not here, no one's going to notice,
Right.
you know?
Mhm.
So like, as that stuff was building, I remember post Olympics coming back up here for the turkey sale, and I was doing good financially. I was staying at the
I
Fairmont.
think I saw you then. That's when I
Yeah.
saw you last time.
Yeah.
Not last time, but one of the first times since I'd seen you then.
Yeah. So, and I was up there and I was like feeling this kind of darkness, and I knew I was in bad shape.
Right.
And I think it wasn't too long after that I went back to the city and I just started doing dope again. Like, you know, cause I'd been sober up until December 4th, 2010. I'd been sober for 4 years, but previously to that, like it was, you know, shooting heroin, shooting coke.
Right.
And then like, so like there was also that piece where people were saying stuff like where, yo, I'm going to get the prime minister of Latvia. And then I'm like, I can't believe I was fucking jamming heroin in my neck like 4 years ago.
That's a fucking experience. Just
You-
having those thoughts together.
Yeah. Those two things, like, you know,
Right.
like where people are,
I don't.
yeah. Cause like a minute ago, like if you think about this,
Yeah.
and this is so cool for me to talk to you about too, because like you're like this piece of my life, like where these two worlds really collided, where I was
Right.
like, wait a sec, like 5 years ago, people were saying I was a scumbag, crackhead junkie.
Right.
And then now people are like, oh, like you're super funny and cool and fucking interesting on the internet and blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, well, like a minute ago, like literally people were fucking chucking shit out of their cars at me.
That's
you know,
fucked up,
like-
dude, I honestly, I can't experience that. But what I don't get is like mentally trying to prepare yourself for like, where's the, like, who's being truthful to me? The people who've been haters to me and throwing shit at me, or people who are telling me I'm so good, are like, where's the authenticity coming from the most? Does that sound weird? Like the question, like, these people who are giving you all these praise, are they doing it because they want to be part? They want to be like part of your goodness and to kind of latch on, or did you not think it was like sincere?
To be honest, I just didn't ever really think about it. Like I just noticed that was weird, that there was a point where I was like, wait a sec. Like there was this ultimate awareness where I was like, a minute ago, like this was what the way people saw me.
Yeah.
And then now this is the way people see me. And then the truth is, here's the truth, right? I am still me. I'm still me, whether I'm shooting dope or doing this or that. Like I'm still, like the core of me has never changed. I'm exactly the same. Yeah. The external labels, right? This is where it gets like real fucking weird, right? It's like where it's like these labels that people project on you. You're so funny. You're a comedian. You're super successful. Yeah. Or you're a junkie, dope fiend, homeless guy. Like doesn't matter. Yada, yada, yada.
Right.
That's what other people are saying to me. I don't carry that around. Like I'm not down on the street and being like, you know, like homeless and be like, yo, I'm a crackhead.
Yeah,
you know,
of
like
course.
right,
I mean,
you know, and on the same token, you know, like now I'm like running this social media account for like a exotics supercar custom car fucking joint that's like selling $500,000 cars.
That's cool.
And I don't like I don't even barely even know how to tell you what it is that I'm doing. Because I just don't. That's not who I am.
You're just doing it. You're just doing it. Not putting. You're not like. I can't explain that things. Like if somebody asks what I do for work, it's hard for me to explain it. Because I'm like, I just do it, and I don't like have like the words to say. Here's things I do.
Yeah,
it's inherent. You're just kind of doing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think what's weird though, going back a second, is the realities you were living in that were like so close together. Like when you're on the street and when you were shooting dope and stuff, and then when you were doing the stuff in Whistler Blackman, even just past Whistler Blackman, when that height of your social media kind of hit it, right?
Yeah.
Then like those are within 4 years. That's kind of the time frame you were saying. I think that's a huge. Those two realities are totally different.
That's a degree, isn't it?
It's
though?
huge, man. Because
that's like a degree. You go to university and then you walk out.
But no one's teaching how to handle the comparative lifestyle to the two.
No.
So that's the part where you're trying to like, you can't forget that past.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of realizing this reality. You're like, the comparative nature must have been mind blowing. I don't know.
It's weird when people look at you a certain way in the sense that if you present well, right? Like we don't know anybody about mental illness. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Robin Williams, like I didn't know that guy had any sort of issues going on. I had no idea. So I was just like, Robin Williams is hilarious.
Yeah.
But there's like, that's not what's really going on, obviously.
No, that praise puts pressure on people. Like if you're like, oh, you're so funny, you're so good, whether like you get pressure on you because you're like, man, I can't let these people down. I got to keep making them funny or something, you know? Maybe that's kind of, I don't know, just a guess.
Well, yeah, maybe. And then maybe also like you can't, because it kind of promotes this idea of perfection, right? Like we're living in a really weird time too, where there's this like, I should present this online. You know, we're starting to hear stories like that. Like
you're getting texts.
Yeah. We're starting to hear stories like that or documentaries being made of like these like Instagram chicks or guys or, you know, like that are famous on the internet. And then off of the internet, people think that, oh, yeah, they're popping champagne and spraying it on girls' asses. And this is so dope. No. And then you see that guy, you know, he's like, after he's just like, this is going to end, man.
Hopefully,
and actually,
see that.
Like waking up in the morning hungover and just like life sucks. Or that chick that just like critiquing like her selfies and just being like, no. But people are like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, no, like I fucking suck. But like I can't tell you that because I need to keep my follows and my likes going. And
well, that's the same different, like the whole different thoughts. But imagine the people who don't even get that praise, who just like get bullied, and people who are just like, they take some time with their selfies but never get that. They're just like bullied and they don't even get the praise. So you're just like, that hot, like they kind of feel it and it's depressing, but the highs and lows of being like famous and getting like your own personal what am I trying to say, like doubt in you, it's got to be like, if you're getting millions of views on your Instagram channel but you don't think you're worth it all, that's that ups and downs got to be so hard on you.
It's so strange too, right? Like, so like I don't know. I think about PewDiePie. He's a super interesting dude to me. He's pretty private.
What's PewDiePie?
PewDiePie's the most famous guy on the internet. On YouTube. Like he's got 80 million
Holy
subs.
Shit, really?
Yeah, man. Like it's nuts. So like
I'm listening.
Yeah. But like if you look at his YouTube channel, it's him and he's on a gaming chair. And then right now his thing is like he just takes like the memes of the week and then bags on them.
Really?
And it's really funny. But he's getting like, 20, 30 million views and this and that. And like, but
really?
yeah, like, and man, people have went to town on this
him?
guy.
No. This looks like a
No, that's
Bollywood.
That says cutie pie.
Yeah.
I said PewDiePie.
Oh, PewDiePie.
PewDiePie.
Oh man, I keep getting texts.
You better turn that off, or your listeners are going to be upset, and they'll never come back again.
all of them. Yeah.
PewDiePie. Yeah, that's
This
him.
guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
mega
man.
famous dude.
Wow. He's 29 years old.
Yep. So like,
Anyway, sorry, I was just curious. I heard of him.
yeah. So like, I just think about these people, like at the height of my like Instagram, or no, I think it was like Twitter fame. My reach was something like in the couple millions or something.
Oh,
like
the
that.
whole reach.
Yeah, which was weird because like,
Analytics.
people don't really understand like how far things go.
Yeah.
But I knew that stuff. I don't know why. I just started to geek out on, when the city of Vancouver hired me to do
What?
Yeah, to do an Instagram thing for them. And it was called
right. Okay.
Yeah, it was called the Healthy City for All.
Oh, cool.
And I went in and sat down in the boardroom and I was like, you guys are ridiculous, man. Like, you want me to come in there and this is not a healthy city for all. And they were like, yeah, well, that's kind of why we want you to do it. And I was like, all right.
But they want you to portray it's a good city, but they won't fix that it's not a good city.
No, they just wanted another voice in the mix that was
Oh.
had a following that was going to speak a different narrative about this hashtag.
Well,
And, there's this beautiful city that we live in, but there's something legitimately broken and
right.
and who can we get to do that? And when those guys brought back the analytics for me on that, like, I was like, holy shit. Like, it was like, some of those photos, I think one of the first photos I took was just a picture of my hand holding the newspaper. And get this, I looked at this photo recently. The cover of the newspaper said, I think it was like cheapest house in Vancouver was 600,000 or 500,000.
Right.
And I was pissed. I remember I was like, you can't even use that same word in cheapest, right?
Yeah.
So that one went viral, whatever, it was like 2 million, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then I flash forward. So this is how bullshit the internet is, right? Like,
Right.
So my reach was up in the millions.
Yeah.
And this thing that, like I was saying, and obviously people were listening to.
Yeah. Resonating with. Yeah.
And nothing changed. It got worse, right?
Right.
By like a lot, like threefold worse.
Yeah.
So now the cheapest house in Van is like around
1.2.
Yeah, 1.2, 1.3, right?
Yeah. I think so.
So it's weird, right? Because there's the truth in the numbers.
Yeah.
That there is this kind of reach going on.
Mm-hmm.
But what does it actually mean?
Oh man, I don't know. What does it mean? I think it only means things to like brands. I think and like serious causes, but it doesn't. The impact to me is really hard to quantify because you're like, you have some athletes or people who have like say 25,000 followers, 30,000 followers, and some have like 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
But sometimes the impact of the person with a smaller following is stronger and goes further. But I don't know. Like I did social media for big companies too, and trying to find like there is a way to quantify it for sure, but on a pretty small scale. If you're talking about reach and stuff, so like on Facebook, let's say we'd be able to track like the dollars spent from somebody looking at a Facebook post and coming to a site and buying the product that we showed on Facebook, right?
Yeah. It's still like pretty
It's-
subjective though. Like,
Well, it's not very large still. This is like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Right.
Even the value we saw from a Facebook.
but people want to spend money on. That's what's fucking crazy. Is like The Rock, for instance.
Right.
I think Dodge or one of those companies like Dodge or Ford paid him $25 million for a few posts with him in the truck. Like they were like, "Yo, take this truck. We're gonna give you this truck. You put it on there," and then you're like,
I
"Like,
guess
did
when
that
it's-
really work?"
Well, when it's polarizing like The Rock, maybe.
Yeah,
When
For sure.
the guy's that big. But it's like billboards. I mean, it's the same thing as billboards when we didn't have social media. Billboards worked to some degree, right? Before you had to drive the highway and you had 1 million people driving by the highway. Now you got 1 million people seeing The Rock as the billboard on his social media channels.
yeah.
Billboards kind of worked. This is a little bit more direct, but I think
It's so weird though, right? Like I want to know who those people. I would love for you to get that person on the podcast. It's like they're like, yo, I can't fucking drive down the road because if I see a billboard, like I just start jonesing and I need to buy that truck. Like I'm just like,
right.
Like it's weird because I mean there's like when I think about advertising and marketing, I'll always kind of come back to this really great story. It's actually in a movie that you can watch called Art and Copy.
Right.
Worth watching. If you've never seen it, it's a documentary called Art and Copy.
Yeah.
Anyways, the guy that did the tagline for Nike.
Yeah.
And I still don't know what the return on investment is, but we know it now today. It's just do it.
Yeah.
Like how fantastic is that? Like it doesn't say buy my stuff, but it kind of promotes this idea of I want to be a part of. And then like the story's so weird too, because it didn't mean much to him. Like he was reading the newspaper, and don't quote me on this, but I think it was like Kentucky or some weird place like that, like Ohio.
Yeah.
And he was like reading about this guy that was getting executed, and they said, do you have any last words? And he said, let's do it. Let's do this. And he was like, oh, that's interesting. And then he cut it out and he put it on his corkboard and left it for like 6 months.
Right.
And he was sitting there in his chair, because marketing campaigns, this is another thing, is that people don't get about marketing, is that it's not like, yo, do you want to buy my shit? Like, because it's going to make you look dope. Like really dope marketing is like the Just Do It campaign. So this guy's sitting there, he's been thinking about it 6 months. And then he's like, oh, like that's what it is. It's Just Do It. So he just dropped a letter or a word and then put it to it. And then that became the thing.
Well, when that happened for him, so that was the first real, like, that was back in the day when if you saw an ad, like, that kind of thing could go, there wasn't very many slogans out there at the time. And that one was, like, I think combined with, like, the Nike brand itself that already existed. But that was something, I think, a slogan that was, there wasn't very many slogans out there. So that was a good one. It was simple.
Yeah.
And it didn't guide you into a certain direction. It was just like, just do it. That could mean anything to anybody.
Well, yeah, if you watch that documentary, like it became like a really emotional thing for people, where people were like messaging, they were sending mail.
Yeah,
like literally a letter to Nike headquarters and being like, hey, your campaign gave me the courage to ask a girl out, because like, why am I not doing it? Right. Like this big guy, and he actually did the interview on the thing. People were like leaving abusive relationships.
Really?
Like
this is in the documentary.
Yeah, man. And that's what's like when I think about marketing and ad campaigns, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. But like, now we're in this weird place where I don't know if it's beautiful anymore. It's a little bit tacky, less art, more about this humongous number of like 25 million followers. It's not like super creative.
Well,
and I don't know if there's anything emotional about that. Like, is anybody crying about The Rock, like being like, oh man, like, but actually I guess no, that's not really true, because he is super motivational, isn't he? Like on his
Guy's
Instagram.
positive as shit, and I don't know what what his real life looks like, but apparently, I mean, this is all just what I've heard.
Don't
apparently,
talk shit about The Rock, man.
Yeah, fuck The Rock, man. That guy sucks.
Okay,
no,
go.
Yeah, but he apparently in his real life he's the same way. Like I've heard guys talk like when the way he travels and what he's doing, he's like he never slows down. But I think it's because there's so many people who are trying to be The Rock, and so many people trying to have the Just Do It logo or slogan, that now it's just minutia, a lot of it. And so we're inundated with like,
what's minutia?
Just shit. Like there's so much of it we
That's
can't
a
get
dope
through.
word, minutia.
I learned it from Seinfeld.
I'm going to be saying that to myself all the way back to Vancouver. 2 hours, minutia. Minutia.
I learned that from Elaine on Seinfeld. She says like some. Anyway.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like we get hit with so many things that like slogans don't count as much anymore, because the good ones have been used and there's so much clutter. So we're hit with like, it's like 1,000 arrows coming at us all the time. But like when Just Do It came out, and Nike's done it again. Nike, even with this Colin Kaepernick, the football player who wouldn't take a knee, and they sponsored him. And
dude, they kill it every time.
They keep making good stands, and they got roasted for making shoes in countries where we shouldn't be, paying 10 cents a shoe.
Yeah, but who's not doing bad shit?
Everyone
I don't know anybody that's not doing bad shit. Like I for sure am. Like I do like my own fucking weird stuff.
Right.
you know, like that's whatever by like social standards, like, oh, you know, you're flying a drone without a license. It's like, fuck you.
But I'm talking about like corporate, you know,
Yeah.
responsibility and stuff, and they have a more responsible. They should be more responsible. Anyway,
Every corporate company is doing bad stuff.
sure,
right?
but what
Can
I'm,
we
what I'm
agree
getting
on
at,
that?
yeah, for sure, I totally
Right.
agree. Everyone's fucking around.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is like Nike's always, even that little thing was like the only real hiccup I think they've had, and they've always done something that's been poignant in our society. The last things I remember that Nike does have been pretty. They stand out quite a bit, even with having Jordan on their program. Like back then, that was like.
There was like narrow margins, man. Like that was a close call. They almost didn't go with that guy. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, like it's fucking cool, man. Like if you think about like how close we are to like, these decisions that change the life trajectory, right? Like, so for instance, I don't go like Sam Schwan doesn't come up to me and say, hey, you know what, you should do PR. I don't follow up on that and go to Langara.
Right.
Langara doesn't offer me this thing to go to. Right? To Whistler Blackcomb. Then where do I end up, like, in terms of, because everything, actually my life trajectory where I'm at today is literally connected to those few decisions.
Right.
Like everything that I'm doing is like that. I can track that down to Sam and I sitting in the car on a rainy night and being like, you should do PR. And me going like, what the fuck is PR?
But you could travel back before that, but too. You could travel back to like when you had whatever happened in your accident, whatever happened. So you could piece those pieces together. But there's significant moments for sure.
So like when you think about Nike and like, because they even said, those guys from the marketing department were like, yeah, like it was Jordan or it was, I forget who else. There was somebody else that was, and that guy tanked, man. The other guy, like,
the guy they didn't pick.
That's how unmemorable it is because I can't even remember.
Right.
And I know the story, but they were like,
Dude, imagine that. I mean, and then the thing is like, if Jordan goes to Reebok, no one cares today. There's no Jordan shoe with Reebok. That'll be my thing. That's my thoughts. Like, if Nike doesn't pick him, Jordan moves on to somebody else.
Yeah.
Even if he's the same athlete and the same, if for some reason, just Nike was the brand at the time too as well.
It's so cool. Like, and then I love to think about that in this sense of like, there's some magic in the world. Like,
so you think it's fate, or you think you're just making changes along the way? Like, what do you think?
I don't know if it's like a fate thing as much as it is to me. Like, I really enjoy the idea of like a certain magic like happening, like where, certain things just kind of line up, and in that moment it just fucking tees off, and you're just like,
like, I kind of feel that way too. I feel like there's no like fate and there's all that kind of stuff, but I feel like you're just kind of cruising through and things come at you, and if you pick the right berries off that tree or whatever it is, they kind of work together, and it's all of a sudden like, that was a big turning point in my life.
Well, here's a good one. Like, I just spent the last 2 years in Thailand.
Yeah, right. That's pretty cool.
And that's a Facebook comment.
You made a Facebook comment and then we ended up in Thailand.
Some guy that I was Facebook friends with then, I'm not now. Right. But anyways, I unfriended him.
You can do that on social media.
I just wanted to like take a dark turn there.
It's harder to do in real life. Imagine unfriending somebody in person. Imagine I tried to unfriend you right now.
Yeah.
Or went on Facebook and I stopped following you. It's easier because then we don't have to talk about it anymore. But I'm like, oh man, I don't know if we should be friends anymore. Imagine that. Is that in real life? Anyway, sorry.
It's a lot more work, right? In real life, like where you actually have to because people don't have the communication skills.
Yeah.
At least online, there is this kind of communication where it's like, I stop following you or I'm not your friend anymore. But in real life, like what people do is if they don't have the ability to communicate clearly, is they just they call it ghosting now. I just learned that term.
You just learned it? Yeah.
Like there was this, I remember I went on a Tinder date like a while back, and this chick was like, yo, like you're ghosting me. And I was like, what? Like we went on a date, like literally like had some food.
Yeah.
And I was cool. Like I was like, great. And I told her that I was leaving. I was going to like another city.
Yeah.
We never made out.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
We never made out. I think that's part of ghosting. And it was like at the end of the date, I dropped her off at her apartment parking lot.
Yeah.
Gave her a hug. She came in for a weird kiss. Then we almost head butted. And then I was like, cool, later. And then I moved to another city. And then and there was this message. And she was like, you ghosted me. And I was like, what? I'm like, I didn't ghost you. what do you think? Like you go on a date with someone and then you fucking own them, like immediately. Like we're meant to be together forever.
Yeah.
Where was I going with this? Okay, let's get back on track.
Yeah, I sidetracked you, I think.
So the comment is these trajectories of life, or this one instance where this guy makes a post and it's kind of shitty. It's like Thailand so crappy, and it was like 20. I think it was like 32 degrees or something.
Right.
And I was like, "You dink, you should hook me up with a job or something like that." Like I didn't even know what he was doing.
Right.
And then he hit me up on the back end and was like, "Hey man, we're looking for a yoga teacher."
Yeah.
Which is also weird that I got that in my wheelhouse. That on the side, like I'm teaching.
So you had 400 hours, 200 hours before you went there. 500 hours.
Yeah.
Because you taught yoga for stuff that you taught yoga for a class that I ran a couple times. I didn't run the class, but
Yeah.
yeah. And then that took you to Thailand, and you worked.
I was teaching at Y Yoga.
Right.
Actually.
Right.
So.
But then I interrupted you though. But when you got to Thailand.
Yeah.
So you finished that story, I guess. But that's what you did when you got there. You taught yoga at like a rehab center or something.
Yeah, like a luxury drug and alcohol treatment center for just like the super rich.
And were they mostly Asians in there? They weren't like there wasn't. Like,
no.
There
was all Westerners. So it's just like this.
Oh,
they're like
sent to Thailand for rehab.
Yeah, man. Like the smartest thing you can do. Well, think about it. Like if you and I right now, we're like, oh, we got this great business idea. We need a storefront. We'll call the rehab the storefront. Yeah. And then we go out looking and we're devastated. Immediately our business doesn't get off the ground because it's just not going to make money. The way to make money is like you got to bill out, even if you bill out $30,000 a month, you're barely going to make rent.
Right. So you got to go somewhere with just like luxury and kind of like do
so
the premium program.
Yeah, like you and I could go to Thailand and we could lease out a resort, like an abandoned resort, do a little bit of work to it and get it for I think like 5,000 Canadian dollars
a month.
So we get the $5,000 for the whole resort, and then we get like $5,000 for you and I are marketing guys, so we're like, okay, all we got to do is we got to make this happen.
Right.
Bring in these guys to make the internet move a little bit.
Yeah.
And then now we just need a couple counselors, and we'll just charge $30,000 a month US. So then you're making drug dealer money, even though you're helping people to try to get off drugs.
Right.
Right.
So you're probably doing that on the side.
And then the staffing costs are low, super low. So like the average Thai wage is 10,000 Thai baht, which is about 400 Canadian dollars
a year.
Yeah, but to put that into perspective, is that's decent money. Like you can rent a place, you know, like. For a Thai person, you speak Thai, they get Thai prices. Right. I mean, their living costs are on par with ours.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, it's not that
relatively
much.
Speaking.
But where it gets out of whack is that we go there and then we charge Western prices or foreigner prices.
And then
we're living in that place.
That costs nothing.
So
even if you get white man, even if everything they charge you white man price, you're still doing okay.
Yeah, like there's like, oh, like I just got hosed, and then I would be mad about it, right? I'd be like, I got mad. It's like $1.50, and then they're like, yeah, we're charging you $3, and I'm like, motherfuckers. And then like $3 for like,
what are we, $10 here, $20 here?
Yeah, like you know, I'm getting like a Thai massage every day for what, $10?
Right.
$10, man, every day. Like I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing when I'm training.
Yeah.
I'm going in and I'm getting like full work, body work every day.
Right.
But so that whole thing happened from
just
a comment.
Facebook,
and then I'm the kind of guy, like when I said to you, you're like, I saw you did the podcast. I said, I want to do your podcast with you.
Right.
Like I follow up on that shit.
Yeah,
I don't really like, I don't care that it's like the whole day. To me, that's like an awesome adventure. Like
Right.
I get to drive up here. I
appreciate
stopped.
it.
I went droning.
Yeah.
I get to hang out with you.
You droned in the wind and the snow and shit on the highway?
Buddy, you should have seen my drone. It was like literally at 45 degrees trying to stay steady.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have insurance on that thing? I guess not, eh?
I do.
You do.
I got something.
You fucked one up in Thailand, right?
Gone.
Where'd it go, in the ocean or trees or
jungles? Yeah, spent 8 hours in the jungle trying to like find it.
What?
Yeah.
Just gonna glitch out and take off? Or you just threw it too far away and fell out of the sky?
I just thought I was way doper of a pilot than I actually am.
Oh, right, yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, I'll just bring it in.
The ego comes back, yeah.
But yeah, like when I was in the jungle, you had to kind of step it in. Like
through the
fly
trees.
under the canopy and then down. And then when I was bringing it back in on a low battery, it just
clip some trees.
It was gone. You
This is
know,
in the jungle.
yeah, it was
Well,
terrible
yeah.
and creepy, man. Like I was like literally trying to climb through the jungle and
Aren't
making
there
it
like
like
panthers out there and shit in Thailand? I don't know.
I don't know if there was like panthers, but like I don't know about the monkeys. Like, are there like? But
Well-
there's these centipedes there, man, that are like so super dangerous. Like they're the most dangerous
Really?
insect.
Fuck, are they big? Do you
Yeah,
know?
they're like, you know,
Really?
like
they
a
have
foot, and then if
disease?
those suckers bite you, you're dead.
poison,
Pretty dead.
or they eat you?
Pretty close. You can look it up. You need to get somebody to do this stuff like Joe Rogan.
I
so
need a
that-
producer. So I got to get some sponsors with money first. But I turned my internet off here because I keep getting texts. But I'm gonna
That's
Google
good.
what we're talking. But yeah,
So yeah, anyways, Thailand happened out of a
Right.
comment, right? Like
Right.
this guy said, you know, we're looking for a guy like you, which
Right.
there aren't many. And it's
No,
not because
dude.
I'm like, it's not because I'm dope. It's just because I have
you're
this
super weird.
weird set of skills, right? Like
yeah, a little bit.
I'm like
For sure.
I'm a
Yeah.
big dude. I teach yoga.
Yeah,
I've done heroin,
yeah,
and I'm pretty good with people.
yeah. And you're
So
a friendly
it's
guy.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
holy shit! Like this guy understands addiction, teaches yoga. I haven't lost my identity to like being a fucking.
Right.
Sorry guys, if you're a weirdo out there and you're doing yoga, like that's on you. But there's a lot of fucking weirdos in
Oh,
yoga.
dude.
Like it becomes their label or their who they are,
Right.
and they're just like here.
skinny, soft guys. Yeah. Well,
You know,
no,
like
I
do
try-
your
I should-
crystal thing. It's
Right.
it's cool. Like you know, I'm into that. Do your crystal thing, but like you don't have to like be the crystal person and the tarot card person and be like, hey, like since you're here
But I guess
on
you're-
the internet with my 5,000 followers.
Right. But my counter to that is is that you are you
Yep,
the way you
yep,
are.
yep.
That's the way you want to be.
Yeah, I want everyone to be like me.
Yeah, me too. But if you're that weird kind of hippie guy
Yeah.
who's like doing weird shit, and that's you are because that's the way you want to be, that's funny. But if you're just putting it on because you follow this like kind of tribe or you're getting sucked into something, that's different. But if you want to be that way, you want to be that way. That's cool.
Be that way, but be that
Don't
way.
sell it on people.
But also, like, really be that way. Don't be
Right.
fucking sneaking off and doing cocaine and fucking people without condoms.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I
there's
see.
there's this thing
Well, there's
like
this is gonna sound more, but there's
I mean-
it's not bad. There's a yoga teacher that was on the island, and he was very well respected for like.
yeah.
I think I heard this a couple years ago, whatever it is, and he's very respected in like what he'd done. And I think he'd done like some talks and stuff. And it sucks because he probably went through some kind of sickness or he had an addiction apparently to I don't know like MDMA. He had like a drug addiction, and he was doing
Yeah.
party drugs, and he
Yeah.
passed away from them.
Yep.
But he was like a yoga teacher, like this guy who would
Major depression.
Yeah.
Major bad depression, that guy.
Yeah, and so it sucks
Totally
because
related
it's a
to his
shame.
story.
It's a shame because you see people where they are on the outside. We talked about this earlier. We see people on the outside, and somebody who's like addicted to these drugs, and you think they have this whole thing sorted out.
Mm.
But he wasn't trying to like portray a certain image. I don't think.
No, he wasn't. In
No.
his
It's
classes,
just
he
the way
was
he
known
was.
for like talking about how this is, like people try to go to yoga and achieve something.
Right.
I'm trying to achieve and my life should get better.
Yeah.
And actually that's where it gets really painful is this
Right.
kind of expectation that you're going to go in anywhere in life. It doesn't matter, man. Like if you're like, I'm going to get this job and this is going to be the one that changes my life and I'm going to trip out on happiness, or I'm going to get this girl and then, she's the hottest one. So this is it. Like I'm
Yeah.
so this person makes me happy.
Yeah.
I'm doing yoga. It's going to fix me and make me the best.
Right.
And then the reality is that we always get to this place where we're faced with that moment where it's like, no, man, that shit is coming from you.
Yeah.
It's not coming at you,
No, you're right.
right? Like
You can't go to a class. You can't just follow a schedule to get beyond a lot of things. It'll help you for the first bit.
Yeah.
But you have to be involved in the schedule and be committed to like what you're trying to achieve from
But-
those classes and stuff. You just go. Like you're saying, just going to the yoga class doesn't fix you. You have to be. You hit that moment. You're like, I have to actually commit to this moment of changing.
Well, there needs to be like some sort of guidance. Like this has been my experience with yoga
Right.
is that having external guidance where someone says like, no, you're at the right place now. This is where you learn how to be okay with it.
Right.
This is how you learn how to be like non-reactive to these feelings, because when I'm in a yoga class and I'm doing a yoga class and all of a sudden I'm like, I start bugging out. It happens. I start bugging out and I'm just like, this sucks. This teacher sucks. Like, I can't believe she's wearing socks. Look at this dickhead. And then it's like, and then all of a sudden there's this moment where it flips on me and I'm like, oh shit, that's me.
Oh, right.
That's no one, man. That is no one but me. So now it becomes a thing of like, here's where the real work begins, where I'm like, these are just thoughts, and that's not who I am. These are just things that I'm not choosing to think. They literally are just thrown for me. Because like, can you imagine if thoughts were so important? There would be a lot of dead people out there, wouldn't there?
People go manic. They'd be insane.
Well, if we really went along with our thoughts, there would be a lot of dead people, because people would just be like, I'm going to kill that guy.
Oh.
And then you'd be like, oh, shit, don't,
Right.
We would be like freaking out, because
Yeah.
people would literally be getting killed.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean, is that our thoughts aren't really the truth. They just kind of present themselves, and you're like, but people can do that with not killing people. But for some reason, they can't do it when they're like, oh, you know what, Ryan's such a dickhead. And it's like, no. That's not true. That was how you perceived it in the moment.
Right.
You're going through some shit. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I mean about yoga, is that there's this piece about like, yeah, you get to trip out on bliss balls for sure.
Yeah.
But the real good stuff comes when you start to realize that, like, once that pink cloud, that new relationship with yoga ends, because it will, is that you get to the real stuff, like where you're like, oh shit, this is what yoga's about. This is where I'm like, find out that I'm not as dope as I think I am, right?
So you get humble. You're supposed to teach yourself, like, yeah, right, I get it. Yeah,
right? Like, it was just like, it's like, oh yeah, that doesn't matter. Like, it's all good.
Right. I haven't experienced yoga as much as you have, for sure. Like, I think I can understand that. I can appreciate, because I've hung with a lot of yoga people. I can appreciate what it can and can't do for you.
Yeah.
But I just like the way that you approached it as like a regular person. Like when you teach yoga, you're not trying to. I appreciate both sides, but you just teach it in a really like normal way. Like a let's be realistic on what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And yeah, you got to think about things and be a bit in your head, and think about things and focus and commit to what you're doing for this next hour and a half, whatever it is. But you have to be a fucking weirdo about it.
Yeah, it's weird though, right? Like it's hard for people, because it's not just yoga. Like when I'm saying that, and if anybody's taking this the wrong way, that I'm trashing on yoga people,
no.
It's not, man. It's like it happens with everything. You see it a lot with anything that kind of fluffs
Soccer fans that start fights because their team lost.
Yeah.
Like anything, you get so wrapped up in something that you're just not seeing what's around you because of it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I am a doctor. Can you imagine dealing with that shit?
Wow.
I am a blah blah blah. Like, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
I'm a blah blah blah. I'm a comedian or something, like with any sort of influence.
Yeah.
And it's weird, man, that people use spirituality as a thing to flex with. Like
weird.
they're like, yo, like, I'm doing.
Well, it's like those Sunday morning television shows when you watch like these big priests or ministers doing these big masses in these stadiums.
Yeah.
People get so wrapped up in that. And like, I don't know. That stuff is hard because when you're at that point and you have 25,000 people, 30,000 people following you and being into it, it would be hard to not be able to break away and think about it normally. Think about life normally.
Yeah.
I don't know if I dragged us into a weird off topic here, but I feel like
no,
you can be influenced by 4 people or by 20,000 people.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot of shit to deal with. Like when
Yeah.
people are saying stuff to you,
Yeah.
and maybe like those preachers, they do have a lot of power. They're like legit have this ability where they can walk out and then influence a massive
And like
people.
touch someone's head and the person just faints to the ground. Like they're somehow mind bended to like do that.
Yeah.
Like I can fix your broken legs. She couldn't see yesterday, and I just went and shook her and then pushed her into the crowd. Now she can see.
Yeah.
That people fall into that stuff, like they get wrapped up. I do all the time.
Do you smoke cigarettes?
Me?
Yeah.
I did for a while, yeah, when I was younger. Sometimes
But
if I get drunk or something.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
But like you're not smoking cigarettes like just on your own.
No.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's
Well,
that same thing, like
yeah.
where you're like, if you go out drinking, your
Well, it's
senses
social
are
influence.
diminished a little bit,
Yeah.
and then someone else lights up a smoke.
Yeah.
But if someone else doesn't light up a smoke, you don't smoke.
Right.
So in that same sense, like where people come out in these masses, it's like, oh, like Becky's going to see the minister, and they say he's dope, and then you're like, I like Becky, and then and then you're like, oh yeah, this guy's dope, and then
Right.
and then some people snap out of it, and they're like, wait a sec, this guy isn't all
Well,
that.
who's the dude? L. Ron Hubbard. His dad got him into this cult thing, or got him into the stuff, and then his son got really into it, and then kind of like passed him in the stature of the cult they started, and then the dad couldn't take it anymore and peaced out because he realized it was a fucking shit show and a dumb idea. And now his son is like, I guess he's like I don't know exactly if I'm quoting the right person, but and now his dad's like, hey, I was wrong. This is the fucking bat. You shouldn't be in this cult thing or whatever. You shouldn't be doing this thing. And now they don't communicate and his dad feels like shit because he lost communication with his son, but has got his son into it in the first place.
Yeah.
Like that to me just shows that there's way you get out of things. Like people, people get lost and don't come back from those things.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine
well, there's that's so cool to say that too, is like to realize that we have this power over each other, that we have to be super mindful of how we influence, because we have the opportunity at any given moment to take somebody to the next level or to cause major damage. Yeah. And it's this kind of weird trajectory where you send them like on this weird path where, they end up in Thailand or whatever.
Right.
Or like make a series of bad decisions.
Yeah.
Because we all have that power, and our power comes from our words and the things that we say and how we act.
Yeah.
And like if that person is primed, right? Because that's advertising. Yeah. Is we prime people to fucking buy into something because we know on a subconscious level that if I tell you something like, oh, you know what, Ted's a dick, man.
Right.
And you're like, if you have a certain loyalty to me, you don't even need to meet Ted or have any evidence. You'll just be like, yeah, Ted's a dickhead. You know?
Right.
I'm totally like that.
I think we're all guilty of it too, right? You just get a small influence. It's hard to step out and go, okay, wait a minute. I've never met this Ted guy before. I shouldn't just assume that this guy, that my friend of mine.
How scary is it to even challenge your friend that says that Ted's a dick?
Yeah. Right. If you don't know Ted, you can't challenge him. You can be like, come on. Maybe he's not a dick. You're like, you don't even know him. You're like, right, I don't know him.
Yeah, it's so weird. So in that moment, that's the person that's trashing Ted's responsibility to not put that on you.
Sorry, Ted.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like where I can come in here and I could talk a bunch of shit about somebody that we know mutually and change the way that you think about that.
I did in the last podcast. Anyway.
How shitty is that? Like in a sense, right? There's this, but like we're all guilty of it. All I'm saying is that we have to there's this awareness, like once you start to know, like, oh man, like, whatever, Joe Rogan has like a certain responsibility now, like where.
I have a hard time with that one because I know I sort of cut you off, and I just started watching a Joe Rogan podcast when he's got Jack Dorsey on from Twitter, and they were like, Joe, how could you? We see your
Who is this guy?
Jack Dorsey, the guy who started Twitter.
Is he a bad guy?
I don't know if he's a bad. I don't know much about it, but he doesn't like kicking people off Twitter. And there's a big controversy about people getting kicked off Twitter and like allowing the president to stay on Twitter and freedom of speech. And they shouldn't be the one who controls who says what. And if it's like hate speech, they'll kick you off Twitter, but they shouldn't be allowed to control freedom of speech and stuff. It was a bigger topic that I'm really informed on. But what I saw was people, Joe wrote that this podcast is it's shitting on Joe, saying like, he conformed and let this guy come on, and he bowed down to him and didn't question him on some of the things they've been doing with like the U.S. politics and stuff, that Twitter's allowing things to happen, but shutting some people down or shutting everybody down. So they're kind of like Twitter's taking sides type thing. Anyway,
people by nature are just like that. Like there's another narrative to that too, right? Where Joe Rogan opens the door to like something totally different. Is that this guy's a human being? I just bringing him on here to chat about shit. Like
because he's not challenging him, because he would challenge someone. He would challenge like if a Republican came on, he would challenge them or a Democrat, whatever. I don't know. Not a liberal in the U.S. Whatever. Democrat. He would challenge them and like question them on these things and stuff that he really believes in. But I guess because the stuff on Twitter doesn't really affect you, I don't know. His fans were saying, "I'm not following anymore. You should have shit on this guy from Twitter." But I'm like, this is just Twitter acting out on YouTube here. But Joe's just giving this platform for people to talk and provide controversy creates change. And Joe's anyway. I was just thinking that like,
but we also have to like, for me anyways, like when I'm in a good space, I can do this, right? Like I can have a discussion like this and say, well, there's the other piece where people got to give Joe Rogan the space to be a human being. He's not going to be totally perfect. So if in the moment, because, some days I'm going to like walk in a Starbucks and I'm going to get in a fight with some random person. Then the other time I'm going to go in there and I'm going to watch some shit go down. And I'm just going to be like, I'm not even fucking getting involved. So am I a bad person for like not stopping the guy from robbing Starbucks or stealing a yogurt? Or am I a bad person because I fucking called somebody out for talking too loud on their phone. Like,
People will say you are either way.
yeah, it doesn't matter. It's like we're always just trying to do our best, but then when you elevate yourself to a place, or you get, I don't want to say when you elevate yourself, because in Joe Rogan's circumstances, from where I'm sitting, it kind of looks like he's been elevated to that position where people empowered him to be this guy. Because if it was him, like, you can't do that. You cannot. It's just like
People allowed him to say it, to give his voice.
and then they say, they vote by subscriptions, by subscribing to his podcast and liking.
Yeah.
That's like, yep. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep going. But if everybody collectively, and that's that influence and effect, says no, whatever. Like, some guy's talking. He's like a UFC commentator and like a bunk comedian and blah, blah, blah. So we give people that power, or we don't.
Well, we give it to them. We expect them to handle it when we give them the power. Like, he put his name out there. Like, we're doing this here.
Yeah.
If someone gave me the power, and then they expect me to handle it the way they want me to handle it, but they're the ones who gave me the power to say whatever I want to say or be the way I want to say it. So if all of a sudden they don't agree with me, well, that's not my fault, because that was an opinion I hadn't shared with you yet. Like, I get people do dumb shit and people make mistakes. I get that for sure.
That's why people get married in like a couple weeks.
Sure.
I
only know one person who's done that. I don't. Yeah. I only know one person who's done that. Well, actually, maybe I know two people now. Actually, I know two people. My neighbor.
Okay, before we go any further, can we pause this for a second?
Yeah,
and
sure.
Go take a leak.
Yep. Cool, man. I'm just gonna sit and chill, and then I'll cut the audio.
How long have we been going for?
I don't really know. Like an hour, maybe a little bit less than that. This thing doesn't really tell me. Let me see what that says. So he sent me. Yeah, probably an hour and 20 minutes, maybe, if that. Maybe an hour. Headphones, got that fat jack. Yeah. I don't know. Well, you're up here for how long are you up here for? We can do this afternoon.
I'm heading back.
You are gonna head back.
I'm gonna try to make some daylight, and I want to go try to take some drone photos again.
Oh shit! Okay, cool, nice.
Okay, so where were we at?
We
you
were
got
just.
a girlfriend?
Do I have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
No girlfriend.
Just off of it, or?
Yeah,
what
I
about
don't know.
Tinder?
Yeah, I do Tinder, Bumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Bumble. Yeah, I've been hearing about this.
I don't do Tinder anymore. I don't do the both anymore. I used to. I just trying to decide to live my life and just do what I want to do, and it'll work out along the way. Instead of like trying to like, I'm gonna have it right now, but I just kind of don't use it much.
Yeah.
Like if I go away somewhere, I'll use it. If I go like a different city or something, I go travel for work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll use it. Yeah.
It's sweet, right?
Just to meet people for the most part too, right? If you meet a good girl, it's cool.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting the weird stigma that I got like right out the gate, that it's just like fuck fest.
Well, I feel like Tinder and Bumble are different things. Like Tinder feels like more like fuck fest, and Bumble's more like respectable.
But is it like, okay?
It's just less spoken about.
Be real, man. Like,
but on Bumble,
it's not like I'm like.
No, but on Bumble, the girl has to talk to you first, right?
I want to know who's like out there just slaying ass. Like, that's what I don't really.
I got a couple friends who do crush Tinder.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am dudes, I don't know, and I think it's a mental state too.
Really?
You gotta like be prepared. You gotta like. I don't just go out and have like one night stands. It's not my scene. I don't do that.
Yeah.
So like if you're into that, you'll just say whatever you got to say to get in there, right?
Yeah.
And whatever. So I think.
So it makes it rough for guys like us then.
I guess so. I mean, yeah.
Because I mean, people have said to me like, "Oh, you're on Tinder," like, what? And I'm like, "Yeah, man. I'm just trying to meet people." You know.
Fuck, everyone's on Tinder. It's like saying.
I know, right? Like it's so fucking weird.
If you're
like,
married, you're not on Tinder. So what? You got past that, or like. If you,
is that gonna come out, or is that just okay?
Didn't you use the microphone? Didn't you use microphones as stand-up comedian and stuff?
Yeah, but not in a weird setup like this. Well, it's not a weird setup.
No,
it's just that on
I think
this
it might be backwards. Yeah, that's backwards. The microphone's in the stand backwards.
Uh-oh.
It's fucked up. Yeah, the microphone's. Oh no, that's right. It's just shit. I mean, they were $20 on Amazon for the whole deal.
Yeah.
Anyway, dating sites, I don't know. I think it's probably worth going on like Match.com or eHarmony or something.
Have you had any like nightmare experiences?
No.
Yeah, me either. That's what I
pleasant.
also. So here's two things that I've been like, because I've just been back on it for like, I don't know, 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. Not long. Divorce papers the ink just dried like a few months ago. So that's sorted. So now I feel like all clear, like I can go out and. Because I've also like, because of the social media and stuff, I was like afraid of being like outed as some sort of scumbag. You know what I mean? Even though I was like separated.
Yeah. I think, dude, the fact that you're on Tinder, I think these people like this, the monogamy thing on Tinder, and I mean that's
the shit that I'm seeing out here, man, since I got back to Thailand is so crazy, man.
Right.
Like, I didn't know about all these words. They're used.
What do you mean words?
The words like polyamorous and stuff like this.
Oh.
And
well, that's just.
What did that happen? Like, I went away for 2 years. I was in the jungle for a bit. Yeah, like I was out.
A bunch of people started being shitty. A bunch of dudes got found out for being fucking idiots, and then like a bunch of famous people started, getting called out for being fucking misogynists and rapists and stuff. And then everybody, there was like this movement of like, were you around for the Me Too movement? It's still around, but were you hearing that kind of kicked off? No, I think that was when when the Harvey Weinstein guy got busted for raping
I know
stuff, and then
about
Bill Cosby,
yeah,
these guys. So that started off with the Me Too movement, and then the polyamorous stuff. I'm not even sure what that means.
I don't know.
I think
what
a lot
that
of things,
either.
a lot of like different things exploded in the past 2 or 3 years, like between like the Me Too movement and then like the non-binary. I consider myself a woman today, like the fluid gender fluid, whatever. I don't know polyamorous is. I think that's like it's not like more than one.
Dude, I have no idea. So listen, I got back here. I came back and I fired up a Tinder account.
Because polygamy is more than
Do it. Look it up, man.
Okay.
So I got back here in October to do a 100-hour yoga teacher training, and I fired up a Tinder account. Yeah. And I paid the $200.
$200? What do you mean?
$200. You can get the gold membership.
Oh, you went?
Yeah, I wasn't paid. I just wanted to see what was going on.
Right, okay.
I didn't want to guess.
Yeah.
And so.
It means tons of wives or husbands or penises or.
Poly means
Greek for many, several, and Latin for more. So many loves.
So you just get to wail on all the
many
dick.
Loves. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Or if you're into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, so I got back and then it was like, I would come across these like immediately, like there was like couples and stuff looking for someone else, and I'm like, what, man? Like, am I
people
old?
who pay are like feel it's more private.
Am I old? Dude, like, and I'm like, so it was like, we're looking for somebody else, or I'm married and I'm looking for like, what is it like? There's all these acronyms that I don't know either. Like,
you gotta Google the shit.
I had to Google. It's like FWB, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Friends with benefits. I'm just say friends with benefits.
I thought it was fat
and then
white
how
bitch.
are we going to be friends with benefits? Like, you're married, like, and we're not even friends. Like, we're on Tinder. I don't want to be your friend. Like, I'm not on Tinder trying to make pals. Like, I'm just looking to, like, make some new friends.
Yeah, and the ones that are creepy. But I think what happens is, I think more girls meet weird guys and guys meet weird girls. So the idea, like, you're on Tinder and the bad rap it gets is from guys being fucking shitty. I'm generalizing here, but I feel like a lot more guys are shitty on, like, they get to this point where they're just trying to, like, they'll fib and lie to get to this girl. They won't say I'm just looking for one night stand. They're like,
a lot of married guys too, right? Because
I
remember, like, I went on this date with this girl, and like the first that we met up for brunch.
Right.
So I was trying to do stuff.
That's a pro move, brunch.
The thing is that for me, like, going out dating, I'm hypersensitive to people being upset about something bad happening in their life. So I'm like trying to create,
midday
like,
meetup is nicer.
Yeah, like, just make it super safe. Like, hey, like, here, I'm not here trying to fucking smash ass. Like, I'm here because I want to know if I even like you.
Right. Yeah, that's fair, man.
Or you might meet me and be like, no, like, I don't like you. That's cool too, but we have to do that. So
yeah,
I always like doing brunch.
Right.
Or something. So it's early. I'm pretty fresh in the mornings too. Yeah. Like, I prefer to do stuff in the mornings. So, like, yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why it made me laugh. Just because I've had water in my mouth, I'm gonna spit it
Yeah.
out.
And one of the first things is this girl looked at me like with like a stone cold killer face, and she was like, I gotta ask you something before anything else. And it was heavy, man, like as if we'd known each other a long time.
Fuck.
And she's like, are you married? And I'm like, how'd you know?
Oh, because you are.
Yeah, the paper hadn't, I hadn't done the thing, but I'd been separated for a long time. But like, for me, it was like, I was like a little bit paranoid. I was like, oh shit, like what? Like, because I thought I went through my social media and I like, as if she doesn't exist anymore in my life.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, and you should have seen her face, man. It was like she wanted to punch me in the face. She's like, you are? And I was like, yeah, like, let me explain
context,
that.
yeah.
I'm like, this is kind of the scenario. And she's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, like, I'm just getting into the dating thing. Like I gave the relationship space because I wasn't ready to like jump in anything or even like hang out with chicks. Cause like my marriage was super public, like on the internet. Like I put everything out there. And then all of a sudden I had to like, I had fucking social media couples trauma.
Right, because you're going back and seeing.
You know what I mean? Like now, I'm like, I don't want to ever do anything with a girl on the internet. I just don't want to, because it's a weird one to say. Like,
come across a picture 5 years later, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, you know, when I was married, I was just like, yeah, this is my dream girl, and blah blah blah, and it was all true. I just never.
You're the blissful guy, just like yelling and super happy.
Yeah, and like, I love taking pictures of my then. That now is my ex-wife. Yeah, I love taking photos of her. She was fucking hot too. Yeah, and so like, you know, like I was just like, I never thought about when I was going through that social media stuff, like posting all this stuff about my wife or my ex-wife, that I would have to deal with that later on down the road, or how that would even affect me. Why would I? But I'll tell you this much: it's weird. You know, now, because I'm just like, all paranoid, you know, it's like, oh, like, do you want to take a picture together? And I'm like, no, I don't ever, like, that is, like, if I ever get involved with a girl again, it will never exist on the internet again. Well, that's just fair, because man. I don't know if there's a real thing. Like, do people last forever?
Dude, in my experience, no.
I know we started out on Tinder and now we're going like,
well, it's a fair thing
and shit, but
well, no, it's a fair, they align Tinder and talking about how long people last for and like your public persona as a person. Yeah. Like it's becoming more like the average person is now more, the average person is more exposed to everyone in the world than they ever have been. Yeah. So if you're like, when you told your friends you're married, you told your friends pictures, that's where it ended. Yeah. Of your marriage. But yeah, I mean, I don't think now people live happily ever after, but I don't know if, I mean, in my experience, it's less and less. And when you have to look back and see like your pictures of your girlfriend and you, or your ex-wife and you on social media, and then someone else, they see you on Tinder, they go, oh, Donovan, okay, and they Google you, they just go on Facebook and type in Donovan. Yeah. They can probably find you pretty easily. Yeah. If they see your, face, and they can look through your Facebook and go, oh, this guy, and they find you out before you even know they found you out. Yeah. Not found you out in a way like you're trying to hide a secret.
I went on a date like that with a girl that was like...
She knew, right?
She knew everything, man. She had done all the Googling.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I do.
And it was cool because I'm always curious about that side, because there's this one sort of narrative about me on the internet. Right. And it's like that I'm a photographer. I take pictures of homeless people. Yeah. I'm a junkie. There's some stuff out there of me and the police. Right. So
you're very vocal. So like, I think you're an emotional guy. When you get fired up, you send it out right away. Yeah. So you're not hiding what's going on with you on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. So when you look back, you're like, fuck, I probably shouldn't. In your hindsight's a bit different than most people. Yeah. Because you're just like, boom, send it out. I mean, I know a lot about what you've been through just because I know you've shared it, which is cool vocally because people get it. But then you have to be ready someone's going to know more about you than you want.
Yeah, which to be honest, like it's never bothered me. Right. So like the only thing that I have a little bit of regret is just the heart piece, which is, it's not really regret. It's just that like what it did is there was people on my Instagram that were like emotionally invested in my marriage. Right. It was weird, man. Okay, so like listen to this. Right. We'll go back.
Seems strange.
It's so strange, man. So listen. So I left her in September of 2017. Okay. Yeah. And initially it was like a super low key. Like I thought that it was going to be manageable. I went to Cuba. You know, it was like
it was that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So then people were like message me, like, where's your wife, on the DM? Right. And I'd be like, oh, and I had to cover our tracks. So then when I fully called it and I packed all my shit and I was like, okay, this is fucking mental. Like, I got to get the hell out of here. Yeah. I knew I couldn't handle my own darkness around, potentially using dope again. Right. Like it was heavily emotionally loaded thing.
That's a huge thing for sure. That's a bigger weight.
So like the size of the city for me shrinks because like there's the internet space and then there's the real life space, and both for me are quite big. Like I know a lot of people on and off the internet. So I went to Thailand, and within you know, I gave it a few days before I started kind of being like, oh, I'm in Thailand, blah, blah, blah. And I had to carry this weird lie for about 3 months where people were DMing me asking about her.
I was curious, yeah, but I figured, yeah.
Yeah. So I would say stuff like, oh, she's got a contract to finish. And to be honest, like, you know, like I held out thinking that we were going to sort it out.
Sure, yeah.
But because, you know, I definitely wouldn't want to say anything.
Shoot
that
yourself
would,
with a foot later. Or
yeah.
foot later, you mean, yeah.
Yeah, so like there was this other side, like where I was so used to being so public about everything that for like, you know, the last year and a half, I just had to be so quiet about anything. And like, I couldn't, I didn't want to trash her,
Yeah, fair.
but like, you know, I couldn't really fill in the space, but man, people were like, by January, so we're talking October, November, December, January, so we're talking 4 months. 4 months after the fact, you know, like I was getting blown up in my DMs, like, you know, what's going, you know, like really like personal questions too.
You live your life personally, like you do put your emotion and everything online. So people assume they can just ask you this stuff when they're following you.
Yeah, and like people had put this relationship kind of like on a pedestal too, like, oh, look at these two, like they're traveling tons and like super in love and blah blah blah, whatever. And so yeah, it was like, it was weird to like have to, for the first time in my life, to like actually lie in a sense, like even though it wasn't like, you know, a dirty bad lie, it was just like I had to lie to protect her, I had to lie to protect myself. And then kind of like, you know, moving forward into this dating realm, like post marriage, it was like, damn, I'm never doing that again. I just don't want people asking me about stuff that is so like, you know, relationships, they're really out of our control. Like how someone else sees that relationship. Yeah. If you're in it, like you and I are in a relationship, like if something shifts for you, I don't know what's going on for you. Yeah. And then you're just like, man, like, dude, I had the guy on my podcast. He's a fucking weirdo. You know what I mean?
I already thought that, so
yeah.
It's too late now.
And then I'm like, and then I drive home and I'm like, man, that was the best time ever. Like, I'm going to see if I can crash on his couch. And like, we have two totally different things. And that's what's happening in relationships a lot of times.
Oh, for sure.
And, so yeah, like when it comes to like the being out there about how I perceive the relationship, like everybody saw how I perceived the relationship. Yeah. I put beautiful images. I wrote about it. Yeah. And the other person was like in a totally different trip. Right. So for me, it was like, okay, moving forward into the Tinder space and like dating like, I'm fucking 43 now. It's like, the landscape's totally changed, man.
It has. The thing that I think is that people's expectations and people's like what do you expect from the relationship, if it's not talked about, it can send the small little discrepancy can send people's relationships off in a different trajectory.
People get pissed fast.
But on Tinder, the expectation is kind of set because the platform has a reputation of what it is. So the expectation to me on Tinder is like you expect that it's going to be maybe a fly by night or like, you know, flash in the pan, or it's going to be weird. It's going to dead end probably somewhere or Tinder's like, this seems like a sex app. Like you're just going to go, you know, hook up, like a hookup app. Yeah. So that expectation is already set. So you have to change that from that to be like, hey, I'm a normal person who just wants to hang out and see if we can do something here. So you have to change that in person. But yeah, when I see on Tinder, I'll go Google the person's name. And I'll be like, hey, okay, I'm in whatever city I'm in. I'll go. I'll go on Facebook and hey, type in their first name and see what pops up. Well, yeah, because I don't know why not. I mean, the tool is there to do it, right? Yeah. Like it happens to me, I'm sure. Like interesting. Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm not getting a lot. I'm not getting.
Well, I'm not saying it helps me
back home, man. Like it's been weird.
Well, Vancouver's tough, man.
It is like super tough.
There's like how many? There's a lot of people there.
There's a lot of people there, but like. I don't know what it is that people are looking for now, but it is like definitely changed. Or the landscape of like finding out about someone and then getting like a certain piece of information, you know?
Well, it's the same thing. So when you're on Tinder, and it's like compare Tinder and Instagram. Most people don't share horrible photos on Instagram of what's going on there day to day. And if they do, people like stop following them because think it's annoying. People don't tend to reach out. On Tinder, you don't put up shitty photos. So when you so you're portraying your best side, right?
Some people aren't.
And
some people put fucking weird pictures
and
up.
No one, and probably, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think there's a lot of accounts that never get liked. There's probably a lot of accounts out there that just don't get any right swipes. And then but everyone's superficial. Everyone's expecting someone more. And as soon as they swipe and get that connection, they're like, cool. They're already satisfied enough that they got that. They don't even follow through.
I know, because I've messaged people and like it's been crickets. It's just been like nothing.
Because like their split second, it's like when you go to a store, the candy bars on the counter. You're like, oh, cool, I eat the candy bar. You buy it, you like, I shouldn't eat that candy bar. It's the same thing as swiping right. You're like, oh, and then you're like, now I got to follow up. It's gonna make me work. No way. And then I think that's what happens.
I think I'm getting to this place now where I'm like, I know enough people and my network's big enough that I'm just gonna like
be more social.
Go about doing that, because it's not like I've had any bad experiences from Tinder. I have not.
No.
I've had some uncomfortable scenarios where I've met up with women that I felt like I was gonna have a stroke because they were so anxious. Right. You know, like
yeah.
I remember I went to this
tough, man. I'm sure like
fuck yeah, it is.
It's tough, dude.
It's super weird, like meeting someone brand new and you're like, hey, in the back of your head, like, you know, like the bottom line is that, you know, like there's like some making out and like potentially humping.
Yeah.
And like there's this thing like where you're like, yeah, like it doesn't have to be that thing. Like, can we just like forget about that for a minute, like this, and then just do this?
The spontaneous meetup program goes away, and when you go to meet this person, you've already built up the scenario, how it's going to go sideways, how it could go right, and you've already set these expectations. When you normally in real life, you bump into someone, go, hey, nice to meet you, and then you have to build this relationship. I mean, you meet them, you've talked a few times, but now you're just like going from this electronic meetup to real life, and you've already got a bit of like, you've been building it up so long. It's a tough scene when you go sit down with somebody. Unless you're a player, unless you like follow like.
It's so weird, like how everything's changed, man. Like I was having this like text messaging thing going on, and like I had it actually on my Tinder. Like I was just like, yo, like don't text me. Like I fucking hate texting. And or if we even like each other, like no texting. Like don't text me. Don't like, hey, what's up? What's he doing? Because I'm like, I'm doing shit all the time. I am doing stuff. But if you want like legit time, call me. Like let's make plans to do something.
Yeah.
But like the amount of wasted space in terms of like, but like, you know, like I'm eating tomatoes. What are you gonna eat today? And like I appreciate the effort. Like, okay, cool. It's like
your attention's cool. Like if you,
but is it? Because this is the other thing.
Gets you trapped
into.
Yeah, sorry.
Is that like, are we just like looking for distractions? Like this piece where I'm like really maybe this is what people should be texting each other. Hey, I can't deal with myself right now. Can you please fucking help me out?
Yeah, true.
I cannot handle being with myself right now. Yeah. There's this too big of a gap.
Yeah.
I'm falling apart,
What's
man.
your breakfast look like?
You know, like, do you love me? Fuck. You love me? I love your face. Oh my God.
It makes it feel uncomfortable. I know you're just joking.
Yeah. Yeah, like.
Yeah.
It's weird though, right? Like why is there like there's this over amount of communication that isn't even any communication?
I'm sure it's distraction. Like because like even that's why you watch TV. It's why you have music going in the background sometimes. You know, like if you need to be distracted just so you can be okay with whatever the fuck you're psycho about. You know, like I'm fucking psycho. I need to be distracted about this, or like some people just get the attachment there. You know, like the chance, like you said, the chance for someone to change their mind and walk away. It's allowed. It happens more in our society now. So people are used to be like, hey, like more people are breaking up. You know, so like we're used to like, oh, we're just expecting it to happen.
Yeah.
So you just get this like your back up right away. And like, where are you? What are you doing? Always pay attention to me, so I don't think you've just abandoned my life. So I don't know. I think the neediness is tough, especially if you don't get a lot of swipes. Let's say you don't get a lot of people liking you. You get one, and you go to meet them. You put a huge amount of pressure on that one thing.
Yeah.
That you shouldn't have.
And also the wacky thing is like that. However people are experiencing life, like, you know, oh, like you're on Instagram and like mad people are liking your stuff, so you want to go and fuck other people.
Right.
It's like, no, come on.
Right.
Really, like I got to deal with that now. Like,
right.
Things are getting really, really weird, man. Like, because I remember the girl that I first fell in love with. First love of my life, I was 17. It was nuts, man. Like it was like, oh my God, like can't believe this girl's talking to me. And like I had to avoid her end of the school. You know, like it was like she was on the second floor near my math class, and I'd be like, I can't. I can't. Like I would go around. I wanted to see her, but I just couldn't deal with it.
Yes.
And then one day we started talking, and then
Yeah.
it was like it was phenomenal.
Oh, cool.
You know, it was fucking unreal.
Yeah.
But like then it was pretty straightforward. Like I think I would have been a total mess
Right.
if I revisited that whole, like I was a mess then. I couldn't handle that kind of relationship at that age. Like it was just too much love. Like it was so fucking crazy. And then like now, like and at that time in my life, I was so insecure, man. Like I was just like, oh, like,
were you?
why don't you like that guy? Because you could have, he's got a Jeep YJ. Like,
And you didn't have one.
you know, I didn't have a car. And then now, like, you think about it, like what kids are dealing with getting into relationships where it's like, oh, like that guy's got like a dope Instagram. Like
The expectations are high for everybody.
oh
right
man, it's so crazy.
now. Yeah.
And the reality is like that is everything I own.
What, that backpack?
That
right
backpack is like anything that's important. Like if I need to bug out right now, like this is it. I'm good.
there? Yeah.
Everything, there's my passport's in there. There's money.
shit.
There's a laptop. There's a drone. My camera.
Don't say that on camera, man.
You know, everything's good.
Right.
Good to go. Like
Right.
my life is so basic and simple, but on the internet it can look like insane.
It's like even fucking traveling the world, living in Thailand. Like it
Yeah.
looks like, and I mean, we're all. You don't even know you're doing it, but I mean, you know you're doing it because you're posting it. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, yeah, I mean, people think you travel in the world. And you're like, oh, when they see that one small step, like, or one small misstep, or like, oh, you know, I'm divorced now. Like, oh, well, you look like you're having the time of your life. 'Cause you're living in Thailand.
Which
Not
is
the
so,
case.
that's so funny too, man. Like, I mean, it's not funny. It's actually,
It's kind of sad.
it's kind of weird, man.
Yeah.
Cause like this year was weird. Cause on one hand, like the last year and a half,
right.
like I was doing some fucking dope shit, but it was like to try to save my ass. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, on the internet, like, you know, I'm going to these like infinity pools and to these beaches in the jungle and doing crazy ass motorcycle trips. But really, like, I would wake up and I'm at a place now where like I'm not really struggling. So I'm like, okay, I got nothing going on the next 10 days. Like I have got to fill it up. And I'd be like, okay, well, if I drive from Chiang Mai to Krabi, that's going to be 2 days there.
Right.
If I pin it, 3 days if I stagger it.
Yeah.
If I stay there for 3 days, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, it's
You
going to
go
be
crazy.
terrible. It's going to be like, I'm going to have to deal with myself.
Right.
It's 3 days. That's almost 10 days. So it was like desperation stuff. And then there would be like these
Just
moments
filling
like where it
time.
was just like, you know, pull over to the side of the road and just be like, what? Like, how is this like, how did my relationship end like this? Like with me here, like in self-exile,
Right. With
like,
a drone and a bike.
trying to convince myself that I'm having the time of my life.
Right.
Because that's what it was. Like, if you look in my Instagram, that is not anything to do with anyone else, but
Right.
me trying to convince myself that, no, man, I'm good. I'm
Right.
good with or without. And to a certain degree, I am. But, like, at the same time, there's, like, these, you know, like, shockingly intense, like that loneliness that kind of creeps in where you're just like, oh my God, I'm 43. Like, this was not the plan.
Well, dude, because it doesn't help when you're in Thailand. You can't speak Thai. You can't speak the English. You can't speak the language. So you only speak English, and you're in Thailand by yourself. When you're trying to escape, it provides almost more isolation because you're free, but then you're by yourself. When the lack of being able to communicate with somebody, even just going to a store and asking for a candy bar in the right language, being able to communicate,
Brutal.
it isolates you. So you're
Brutal.
already if you weren't ready to deal with yourself on your own at that time, and you thought you were, you just isolated yourself 100-fold by being in a country where
So
totally foreign.
true, man.
Right.
And everybody just thinks like, and I'm one of those people that thought that if you get to a place in life where you have enough scratch to get by every day, that you can get somewhere tropical and no debt, have a few things, that's the dream.
right.
And then you get to that. And like, you know, for me, that was the last year. I was like, oh, wait a sec, like, fuck her, man. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Right.
I can just do my own thing and then get over there and then be like, damn, like, this is bad. This is bad because now, like, there's, like, we're all aspiring to do what I did last year.
Yeah.
And then, or a lot of people are anyways, and then they get to that scenario and realize, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. Like, my friends are what matter. Like,
Yeah.
familiarity, my community, traveling is dope, but like the reason why my life is rad is because of whoever's in it.
And you need to have something to look forward to or something to work towards. So I think for the most, even if it's a basic thing, but like if you're just traveling, not trying to kill time to get your mind clear, at some point you got to come back around and find something you want to do and like be able to focus on something. Because if you're just like kind of unfocused, every thought can just kind of, and I've experienced that for the past couple of years. But
like mind assault.
Yeah, you don't give yourself something to focus on, so you don't ever have a chance to block out anything else. I did that for a couple of years, but I think when I don't know. I mean, haven't gone through what you've gone through in life, and I feel like everything that you've done has taught you to deal with hardships along the way more than some people ever thought, because you've gone on the other side of it. But yeah, man, you isolated yourself in Thailand, but it probably now you're looking back thinking, oh, it's cool. Like you probably will see a benefit.
Oh yeah, you have like, I think it's like when you go on a fast, right? Like if you fast, or you go to the gym or do yoga or do something that's challenging, is that when that ends, you feel rad. Like you're like, whoa, like coming back here, man. Like I was driving up here. Yeah, man, it was a fucking different drive today. Like just driving up here, and I'm just like, holy shit, man, this is where I live. Like, this is mental. Like people I've met in the last year would love to come here. Like they would just be like, whoa, like that's nuts. There's snow on the trees. That's crazy. Snow. Yeah, and then this is where I live, but it's stuff that I took for granted.
Of course, yeah, for sure. And you have to. It's like you have to escape to appreciate where you left, right? So then. I mean, coming back here, I mean, I've done a bit of traveling, but I haven't moved around. Like, I haven't lived in too many places for too long. So, like, for me, I try to not lose my appreciation for this place, because traveling helps you appreciate where you are for sure. Yeah. But living in Thailand would be cool, man. I mean, it seemed like it'd be cool because of the landscape and just the culture and the shock it would be. Yeah. But then after that's done, you're like, okay, now I'm a foreigner and I don't really know what's going on. I don't have I'm not comfortable.
Yeah, it would be. I think it's like way different. Like if you have someone, like when I was married and I was there, like my experience, those two different experiences were way different. Like it was definitely better with somebody. Right. Like there's stuff that I did that's like, you can't bring someone along to do that stuff just because not many people want to do that. Right. Like I went hiking in the jungle. Like that's not like everybody's like, oh, like rad, and then you're just gonna fly a drone. Like, well, I do what? Like that sucks. Yeah. But like the bulk of the experiences, like the eating, the like going to the beaches, to going to the jungles, to like having that was definitely better with someone. Right. Okay. And so I think like, for the most part, life is better with somebody. Man. Like if you go traveling, like it's dope for like about 10 days, a couple weeks on your own. Yeah. But like at the end of the day, man, you get somewhere, like you're in Vienna and you're just like, holy shit, man. Like I wish so-and-so was here because they would just dig that. Or, like when you're skiing and being like, man, if whatever buddy's here.
Well, there are like societies and there's studies that show, societies that are more social and people have more like gatherings and like dinners together, stuff, families, their life expectancy is longer.
100%.
Because it feels like I don't know what this scientific term is, but there is studies that show that like the more social people you are, the happier their life is and the longer they live. Yeah.
Malcolm Gladwell wrote I think it's The Outliers.
Oh, I've read that. Maybe that's where I got it from.
Yeah, in the beginning of it, I don't know if he says it like that, but something to the extent of just they were confused about how these guys eat so terribly. There's,
it's like Italians and stuff. They live for a long time, but they eat pasta and bread all day.
Yeah, and there's like no heart conditions, like there's no cancer, no heart diseases. Right. But these are the same people that like have meaningful interactions like throughout the day, know who their neighbors are,
support their neighbors.
Yeah, they like support the handicapped guy in the community or the person that's like mentally like everybody's involved in that. They're like, oh yeah, like he's, they all know what's going on.
It's rare the family members move away and separate. They usually stay around a bit of a close unit. And they're healthy people. Yeah. That's huge. So when you think about traveling on your own, people you go to escape or something and try to get in your own brain and try to do it. But after a while, you got to come back from that. Yeah. Or you just stand in your fact for.
Well, now I'm living with my buddy and his family. Like it's
good.
A whole family. Like, so, he's married, he's got 2 kids in a house. And dude, I haven't been this happy or this kind of like content.
Right.
Like this kind of, I can't explain it, man. It's like a kind of peace that I haven't experienced in a long time.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's like being alone for so long, and then like every chance that I get, like I'm like, they're like, oh, like we're gonna have dinner, and I'm like, they're like, just so you know, like, so if you're here at 6, like that's when dinner's. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah, cool.
You know what I mean? Like, or like when I come back at the end of the day, just hanging out with them on the couch and watching the kids play video games, like, they're crawling on me or whatever, but it's just, there's something that's so super important about connection that no amount of money can replace. Because I've done that thing with money now, like where it's like, okay, that isn't the fix.
Right.
Moving isn't the fix.
No.
The stuff isn't the fix, but there's like something about that connection.
I think as well, for me, looking at you, you would have, in this situation now, you would gain a really big appreciation for the connection based on what I little bit to know about how you grew up and everything else in your life. Like you've had a lot of disconnection, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So when you now have that with people, you can appreciate it more, having been through, I would assume, like a lot of disconnection for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think there was like
being able to trust people.
Yeah, there's periods of it, right? Like there was like where it was like absolutely important to like not be connected for like safety purposes, because I felt like everybody would at some point be gone.
Right.
And then getting to a place where it's like, no, I just want my privacy. I don't know what that looks like. And then having that, and then kind of going to this like really intense marriage, and then doing that. And then being like on the totally opposite end of that now, where it was like total isolation in a country where I didn't speak the language, and then coming back again. So there's like, I think it's like for all of us, no matter what the circumstances, is that we can have experiences where it just helps us to grow and appreciate more and more. Because all of my experiences have led me to where I'm at right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely like the disconnect, the connection, and then finding the variations of what that actually looks like. Because there's forced disconnection, then there's like my own disconnection, and then I
think forced disconnection is like a defensive move, because you're trying to you don't want to. You're like, don't come near me because I'm gonna hurt you, or you're gonna hurt me. I don't want to be part of that. And then it's like, and if I trust you, I've had trust been broken many times when I was younger, let's say, and I don't want to trust you so making connections involves a ton of trust, because if you want to make that connection and have the connection last, you have to trust the persons on that side of the connections do the same thing back to you. Yeah. So I think there's like some people have that, people aren't used to trust, I don't think, a lot in like in our like some in our lives, especially with the media stuff, and maybe what you've gone through, like you probably aren't used to trust, and when you give it, it gets taken away from you pretty quickly sometimes, and so you can be jaded by it. Yeah. So to have a family like you can hang out with and live with, and you can trust them, and like you watch what they're doing, it takes you got to let go of a lot of defense in order to have that connection.
And isn't everyone going through that? Because we see that, like if you go back to like in terms of like intimate connections with men and women, a lot of these people, like whatever happened to them, they're not able to move past it. Like I'm in a weird place now, like where I just came out of this massive, like a super important relationship in my life. And then I went out on a date the other night, and this girl, like we're sitting there, and then she grabbed my hand. Like she was like, and then try to like kiss me. And then I was like, holy shit. Like, like in public, and normally this whole thing was not a big deal. Like I was all about PDA and shit like that, but something happened in this particular relationship where
you were hurt, man, or you're just like slapped. You're slapped.
Yeah, like hey. Where it's not there. Like when I look at the relationship with that woman and what she brought to the table, she had experienced like some bad shit with previous relationships that she brought into our relationship that totally wasn't what was happening. So like it's weird, man. Like all our connections are based on past experiences, intimate or other. So like, and it makes it really challenging, because you're like, like for me now, my experience is I went through this thing, and I can say, knowing that's over, like that's not happening anymore, so I can let it go. But when you're triggered in that moment, that girl grabs and it's like, that's unfamiliar. That's not someone I know, you know, and they try to lean into like kiss. And I was like, oh shit. Like, I don't want to be an asshole, but you know, this is a bit much.
Right.
And then it's my responsibility to push through that and say like, no, everything's cool. Like nothing bad's happening here. And then kiss her back and not react to like all my own shit. Like,
right.
So depending on how much you want to grow as a human being, like
or how much you hang on to stuff that you shouldn't be hanging on to, right? Like it's hard.
Right. That's what all these motivational speakers are talking about all the time. They're like,
go.
are you going to let it go? Like,
it's tough, man.
Yeah, it's so tough.
For sure. It's easier said than done.
Yeah, because when you're in the fucking shit in that moment, like it seems so real. You can't even, you know.
It takes a lot to learn to identify those triggers and to stop them. You have to like take time to figure out what are my triggers and when do I have to identify that I'm in my own head too much. That's hard. I'm sure it's hard to do for a lot of people. I mean, it's hard for me.
Yeah, you need outside people. You need like, you know, I got the guy that I live with. He's like one of my good friends. Like I have a few men in my life like where I run stuff by him and they're like, dude, like, no, that is not the situation. But
Right.
I trust them enough to be like, okay, like this guy's nothing to benefit by telling me not to buy this car or to go to this place or spend that money or get involved with this girl. Like, you know, that I trust that.
Yeah. You gotta need some guidance sometimes, right, along the way.
Yeah, you definitely do. Like we have a ability to sort of tap into this thing called, I think it's like high-minded spiritual thinking, like where, so like, you and I have skied together a bunch of times. You lead the way, and then I'm in that same hairy kind of situation, and then I can kind of not really channel you, but I know exactly because we've spent enough time together where it's like, no, this is like not the thing to do, or yes, it is the thing to do.
Yeah.
So there's that ability, but for the most part, we do need to have somebody that knows a bit more in our life, or can. Or not even, they don't need to be better, but just be able to point out the blind spot.
Ask the right questions, yeah.
Yeah, can you check that side? And it's like, you know, go to the end of the, you know, like when you're fucking skiing and you send out a spotter and you're like, go check and see, is it all clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking send it.
Yeah, right.
Like if you try to send it on your own, like, you know, a lot of times it goes real bad.
Yeah.
Right?
You got to look at things first, right? You got to spot your landing.
Right. So it's always good to have, you know, people in your life that can be spotters in a sense and just be like, yeah, no, this is a bad move, bro. You're seeing things wrong, man. That girl's good or she's bad or.
I know, but I mean, it's all. Then you got to balance. Do I trust that person enough to maybe this time I should just do my own thing? I always have this like second guessing moments, but. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lifetime of work, man. Bringing good people in that can objectively observe something without adding their own shit to it. You know,
without
like,
having an agenda of their own to try to squeak in something that they feel like proud of, you know, like they just give you just advice that they're like, here's the hard and cold facts of what I think.
Yeah.
Because if they spice in with their own agenda, it usually sends the other person on the wrong path.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, when I've done this like sober coaching stuff with clients and I have to like, I kind of usually prep them in the beginning and let them know that like the stuff that I'm going to tell you, you're going to probably reject. And your mind's going to tell you a whole bunch of stories about me. But you have to know that it is of major detriment to me to get fired.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, I'm not telling you this stuff because I want to keep my job or I don't want to keep my job, but I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to risk everything for that. Like, so if that means me getting fired, that's what I'm going to do. Like, I will tell you the truth. Like, you're paying me an atrocious amount of money for me to tell you the truth and see your blind spots. Sometimes you're not going to like that, but my agenda is not involved in that. Right. You know what I mean?
Well, do you have it like, so when you were brought, like when you, just fucking breaking the place, whatever. I'll send you an invoice. But when you got clean, you I don't know what the term is, but when you first got addicted to drugs and you were like got clean for the first time, you got clean for a second time. Is it one person that kind of got you out at both times?
Nope.
So I was gonna ask.
Mad people, man. Can you imagine?
So my question leads to is, do you now feel you have to respect people who helped you to help others? Like an ode to the people who helped you get out of where you were, the situations you're in. When you help others, do you feel like you're obligated to help others because people helped you?
No, it's not so much that, but
obligation's a bad word, but
I do feel like, you know, I have like a special skill set that
I would
is
agree.
like very difficult to come by.
Right.
So
I would agree.
it's kind of like, you know, if somebody calls you up and they're like, hey man, can you help me move this fridge? And you're actually doing nothing and you're healthy and you're quite strong and you
Yeah.
say no. Like that seems weird, right? Like
Right.
when you're like, oh, actually, no, I don't have anything to do. Yes, like you are somebody in need and you had the courage, right? Because it takes courage to ask for
need
help
yeah.
and say like, hey, and that's a big risk to be like, Ryan, can you give me a hand?
Yeah.
And then you turn around and be like, no, man, I'm
Playing
you
video
know,
games.
whatever you're doing, you know?
Yeah. Right.
So like for me, when I started doing this sober coaching stuff, or it was just more like, okay, I have that ability
right.
and I have the kind of that weird that thing about, I don't know what it is.
Skill set.
Well, because the skill set what I have is so strange because I have a fearlessness about doing things that are so uncomfortable.
Because
Like-
you know where the bottom can be, so you're not worried about that. I don't think anymore.
Well, I mean, some of this stuff was weird, like the one that I did in Taiwan. This lady contacted me from Facebook and said, hey, do you do sober coaching? I said, sure, yep, I do. Okay, I need you to come and live in Taiwan for like the next month. We worked out the price. And I never been to Taiwan, and she's a female, and I'm a man. I'm a foreigner, so I have zero rights for anything.
right.
And a lot of things can go bad. Like here's somebody that's like blacking out of their mind, getting drunk, as a surgeon who's like made horrible mistakes in a medical scenario, like
Fuck.
yeah, like making big mistakes and knowing all of those things, but just there's something about my personality, that same personality that's willing to stand up in front of 250 people with that idea that I can make them laugh. Like
Right.
I expect you to make me laugh, and like being like, cool, I'm going to go. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
That is the same characteristic that you need to have to be able to land in another country that you've never been to,
Yeah.
in a neighborhood you've never known,
Yeah.
to find your way around that place, work with food that you don't know how to eat, you never eaten,
Yeah.
a language barrier, all those things, and have the kind of thing inside of you going like, no, I got this.
Mhm.
Like the whole time, like never being like, no, like I'm curious and I'm into it. Like I'm not doing it for a paycheck because
Yeah.
it's not a paycheck job.
Well, the motivation's got to be there because it's a big undertaking to do something like that.
Yeah.
For your own effort to get to there and help people.
Well, yeah, like that's like visas and all sorts of weird stuff. So like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know, like, so it's just knowing that I have that skill set to move the fridge
Right.
feels like wrong to be like, not do it.
Right.
You
That makes
know?
sense, man. I mean, I guess it maybe in some ways it does mean that you've been helped a lot, and like just it helps you. I'm sure it's therapeutic to help people as well too.
Yeah. And I just don't chase it, right? Like I don't chase that opportunity, but like, yeah, definitely like teaching yoga.
Right. You still teach yoga?
Yeah. I don't like, like I'm not a good breather. So like if I go into a class and I teach everybody like to move with breath,
You're like,
yeah, and then create a space for in my yoga classes where there's not a lot of talking,
right.
so that people can be with themselves. That's also what I need,
Yeah.
to be around people without talking.
Yeah. Right.
Because man, I get geeked out. Like if there's no talking, I start to stress and have panic and
Well, because it's like awkward. It's the same reason why like police officers will like when people like they've learned to use the silence to make it awkward, so someone blurts out the fact that they did something wrong.
yeah,
Like it's when your teachers like I've learned that this is a tactic that people use like within like investigations or like interrogations or teachers or psychologists. They'll leave a blank space till it's uncomfortable until the person goes like, "Blah, I'm an alcoholic too,"
Yeah.
like yeah or whatever, right? So that awkward space. But when you're in a space like yoga, when you're trying to get people to be quiet and like to be with themselves, that's an intent, right?
and it's like for me too.
Right.
It's like I need to be good with that. So
Yeah.
if I'm practicing teaching that, and then really getting a lot out of that space, like where I'm like,
Me
okay,
too. Yeah.
because it's not something that comes naturally to me. So teaching and coaching, they're like a huge benefit for me because everything I may know that stuff, but I may not always like be practicing it in my life. So it's constantly being reminded like, oh yeah, like if I'm a sober person, then this is the way I live. If I teach yoga, this is the way I live. If I teach sober coaching, then, you know, like that creates a kind of integrity in you that you can take out into the world and be like, oh yeah, like, no, that doesn't fall in line with my value system.
Right.
And I mean, I've kind of jostled with it a little bit, like where it's like, okay, like I'm going to live this way. Am I going to let people into my life that don't live this way? You know,
it's tough, right? Like especially, like if you're like sober, you're like, do I, you know, my friends who go for social drinks,
yeah,
or like they smoke a doobie or something. You're like, I can't do that, but am I going to allow that to dictate who I'm friends with or who, like, because you have to fight.
Yeah,
that.
there's been like a softening around that, right? Where like it was a hard no before, and then now it's like, okay, that's cool, but there's like levels to of it now, you know, like where, you know, I came up against it in my last marriage was that, you know, like. I'm not telling you can't drink. I want to be on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
So if we're not on the same wavelength, like, you know, you may as well go do your own thing because we literally are not.
Right.
Like if this person A is fucking smashed, person B is dead sober.
That's annoying for everybody.
Theirs are just kind of like, yeah, it's annoying for everybody. You know, like go to a bar sober and just be like, oh, like this is a cool place to hang out. All night, stay there for as long as you would drinking and don't drink. You're gonna want to die.
Yeah, exactly.
So
crazy. I don't know, man. I guess we've been doing this we've been doing this for a while, almost 2 hours.
Yeah, we could wrap it up, man. We can do this another time.
We should.
I'm down.
Totally.
What time is it now?
It's 25 after 1.
Yeah, I'm good because I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna head back to the city.
Cool. You could get food before you go, and you drive back to the city with a.
Get some food.
Yeah,
probably
in Whistler.
Yeah.
We should get some food, man.
Let's go get some food.
What do you? There's lots of places.
Yeah. So let's wrap this up then, and then fucking go get some food.
Okay, so I just want to know though. So I don't know. I just want to so you still teach yoga in Vancouver? Are you back at it now?
I'm not teaching any public studios right now. I'm just teaching privately.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, yeah.
And then you're doing social media, like marketing management for like a hot rod, like
company,
a high
Trick
end
Factory Customs.
And they make like.
They do motorcycles, custom cars.
Cool.
And now they're doing exotic customs, so supercars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris.
Nice. Okay. And you just got back.
And I'm building, and then I'm going to be doing a build myself. Well, they're going to, I shouldn't say, I don't know how to do nothing with cars. I don't know how to do nothing, but they're going to mod out. I'm going to get a Dodge Challenger, I think, and just do it.
Good for the winter. Good for drives up here.
It's not. It's just going to be like, it's actually literally just for social media.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like I'm buying it for...
While they build it, you're going to like...
I'm going to document it, and then I'm just going to put it out there like, look how fucking cool I am. I know how to purchase something.
Right.
So, like, you should follow me on the internet because I have a cool car. And people will.
Yeah. People will, for sure. People love that shit. Okay. I don't even know. My phone could have stopped recording. I don't even know. But
we got to get different chairs, too, I think.
Yeah.
These ones need a bit of a slope. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of weak.
Elbow.
Yeah,
watch
sweet.
the elbow.
Watch the elbow.
Boom.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, these chairs are kind of budget, but so is this.
Like you watch the elbow and then you can just fucking nail it every time.
Because you're not focusing on the hand; it's more flowy.
Something to do with physics too. I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and you gotta know where your elbow is.
Yeah.
If you're like this or like this, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks, Donovan, man. That's awesome, dude. Let's get some food.
Let's do it.
And we'll do this next time.
Thanks for listening.